online crew. Let's talk today about the three biggest personal branding mistakes that I see. There are a number of mistakes that people can make with personal branding, but there's three kind of standouts that I want to share with you so you can check in whether you're making these mistakes or not. Firstly, just keeping it real. I'm not well. I probably should still be in bed. But not only do I've covered it with heaps of makeup, but I've got big bruises on my face. That's another story for another day. I've shared that in my stories, but I've tested positive to COVID since I've come home. So 2 years ago when we came home from Vegas, my husband Paul came down with COVID and I sat on a plane with him like the longest was 15 hours and never caught it. But this time it was my turn, and myself and my son, Zach, unfortunately, have both come down with COVID. So I am going back to bed after this live, but I have just delivered a training for my coaching community, and I really wanted to deliver that training. So I know everybody keeps telling me, just rest, Helen, rest, and I will. I'll go back to bed after this. But if you are a coaching community member, what I just shared in the training over there is feedback, suggestions, and strategies from successful 6, 7, and 8 figure earners from what they're doing online right now to be successful in their businesses. So obviously I've just spoken at an event in Los Angeles. My fellow speakers are all 6, 7, and 8 figure earners, successful network marketers, digital marketers. And I love the opportunity to learn from them. As much as I'm a speaker myself, I love learning from them in what they're doing and what's working for them in their businesses today. So in the coaching community training that I've just finished, I've shared some of those, the top 7 strategies. Okay. So if you're a coaching community member, go and catch the recording of that training in the group. I know, Jen, it finally got me. I've lasted all this time never having COVID. I know a lot of you, have you all had COVID? Like, share with me. Yes, had it, never had it. I think most people have kind of have it. I've escaped it until this time. It's taken me to go to America to obviously pick it up from an airport or something like that. But as I said in my coaching community training, I would still experience everything that I have in the last 3 weeks with the event that I spoke at and having the family holiday and having COVID now than not going at all. Does that make sense? Like some people say, I'm never going to travel because I might get COVID. I don't care. I'm sick. I'll get over it. I'll rest. It's okay. I'd still rather experience everything that I have in the last 3 weeks and have COVID than not experience that at all. That's just my take on it anyway. Liz has never had it. Well, there you go. There's somebody else that's never had it. Was awesome training. Thank you, Liz. So let me get into, that's a good point, Jen. This isn't how America is supposed to treat me. Love that. It is what is. It's all good. It may have been the Sydney airport or the New Zealand airport. You never know. Anyway, let's talk about the biggest personal branding mistakes. Number 1 is that you are branding yourself with your company name. So hopefully a lot of you that have been around me in my training for years would know that we just don't do that. The reason that we don't do that is people don't care. The name of your company is just a name. It doesn't help them understand how you can solve the problems. So when you are showing up on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, it's not the company name that you want people to see first. It doesn't mean you need to hide it. If people ask you, you tell them, and you can share it every now and again, but it's not what people care about. And honestly, if you have no influence, no reputation, and no success in the industry, people will just go and Google it when they see you put it on your social media. And then they'll go, oh, it's a network marketing company. That's what it is. And they'll totally miss the fact of what your products do or your business opportunity could do for somebody. So don't use the company name in your branding. Number 2, fluff words. So you may know that branding is important. It is super, super important to have a personal brand that you stand behind, because there are hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of people that are all selling the same stuff. If you are in a company yourself, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people selling the same stuff as you. So why would I buy something off you? It's how you show up on social media. It's your personality. It's your brand. It's what you bring to the table. It's the value that you share with people. So what is that value? What is that brand? What are you helping people with? So if you say something like, I help people live the life of their dreams, what does that even mean? I help people get healthier naturally. With what? So the more vague you are, the more fluff words that you have, the less traction you will have on social media. Think of what I always say with my branding training is, what are people Googling? So if you have something like, I help people get healthier naturally, have a think about that. Are people going to Google and typing in, I help people get healthy, how do I get healthier naturally? That's not what I would be Googling. What I would be Googling is whatever issue, that I have. Is it weight loss? Is it gut health? Is it an ailment? Is it a skin condition? Is it, what is it that somebody would be Googling? So if you come up with a branding statement and that's what you've got on your personal profile or your business page or TikTok or Instagram, and it's really, really general, it's going to take you a lot longer to get traction on social media because people don't know really what you do. The more specific, the better. So try not and use fluff words. If you don't know if you're using fluff words, think reevaluate what you've written and go, would somebody Google those words? If somebody wouldn't Google those general words, then don't use that in your branding statement. Which leads me to number 3. The third biggest personal branding mistake is that you're not really dialed in on your target market and the problems that you solve for them. So your target market is the person that you are trying to attract. And it's not like when you go live, when you write posts on social media, you put content out there, you should be speaking to one person. So who is that? Who is in your target market? Is it female? Is it male? Is it in a certain age bracket? Is there a certain demographic? Like, speak to that person in your post. You know how this works. If you speak to everybody on social media, you're speaking to nobody. So really laser focused on who. So people that come up with branding statements like, I help people. People isn't a target market. I help men and women. Well, if you help men and women, why need to call it out? You're helping everybody. Like, writing, I help men and women isn't a target market. Do you see what I'm getting at there? So who is it exactly? And what I find a lot of people get confused about is they'll say, well, my products can help everybody. So I don't want to get that laser focused because I might be missing the other people that I can help because my products help everybody. If you already have success, you already have influence, you already have runs on the board, people know you, you already have a presence online for a certain thing, then you can be a little bit more vague than somebody who doesn't have any of that. So if you've had very little success online, you don't have runs on the board that people know about and aware of, you don't already have influence online, you need to be more laser focused with your branding than somebody who's already successful. Now, I know some of you will look at leaders in your company, you'll see what they're doing, and you'll want to copy that. If they've already got influence, they've already got success, they are already known to be successful, they can say different things than you and get away with it, and it won't work the same for you because you don't have the success, you don't have the influence. If you go out there from word go and say, I've just joined this company, I'm so excited, and you have no influence, no following, no reputation, no success, no one's going to listen to you. You really need to dial in with number 3, who it is that you serve. So is it mums? Is it dads? Is it the elderly? Is it young people? Is it like, who is your target market? And what problems do you solve for them? The name of a company is just the name of a company. It doesn't tell people how you help them. So in your branding message, you should have in there, clear as day, what it is that you actually help people with. That's what needs to be included in a branding statement. So you need to be careful when it comes to personal branding with the message that you come up with, whether you're mentioning the company name, whether you're way too vague, because it is difficult sometimes. People that are newer to the industry, top leaders that do use the company name, they are quite vague with their branding, but they've already done the hard yards. They've already had the success, and success breeds success, does it not? If you're successful, then you'll probably continue to be more successful because success breeds more success. If you have no success, it's even more important for you not to mention the company name in a branding statement and to be super laser focused on who it is that you serve and what problems you solve for those people. So there's kind of a little bit of an art and a science to coming up with a successful branding statement, but it will make or break you online. And, I'm a big believer in that personal branding is the foundation of everything that we do online, is knowing who you serve and what problems you solve for them. Any of you that have done any kind of marketing training online would know or have heard of the term target market and, what problems do you solve for those people. It's just a foundational thing that everyone needs to learn when they're building a business online. So if you don't feel like you've got this nailed down yet and you need some help, I am running my flagship branding course next week. It lasts for 3 weeks. I will work with you intensively to help you discover, learn, and develop your own personal brand, what that message is in whatever platform. If you're on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, whatever it is, we will tailor your branding messages to those platforms because it's different. You need to say different things on different platforms, and some platforms have got a very limited number of characters that you can use. So you can't necessarily say everything that you want to say. So popping up on Facebook here is the link. So I'll mention it for you guys here on Instagram. If you go to helenmartinonline.com/branding, have a look at the information that's included in this course that I'm starting next Monday. It is not expensive. If you're a coaching community member, you also get a $50 discount. Just reach out for the code, your special discount code, to get that discount to the course. And we'll work together closely for 3 weeks, because sometimes I need to get into your head about what it is that you want to achieve, who it is that you want to serve, and what problems you want to solve for you to come up with the right branding message. And it can be frustrating. I've gone round and round in circles with many people in that course. Sometimes they don't get their actual final branding statement until the last week because they keep bouncing back. It's like, sometimes it's tough to come up with the right branding statement. But it's something every one of you should have nailed down. Because when you do, trust me, everything else falls into place. Because you'll know what content to put out there. You'll know exactly who you're talking to. You'll know exactly what content to put out in relation to what problems you solve for people. And everything just falls into place from there. Okay, so the opportunity is there for you. If you need some help in this area, I'm more than happy to help you. So go to helenmartinonline.com/branding. and have a look at the information. And, but the clock is ticking. We start next Monday. We have self-paced videos. You do some work, and then we have live Zoom calls. Like, I need to get into your head. I need to talk to you. I need to analyze what it is that you want to do, what company you're in, what are you reverse engineering that you sell, all of those kind of things. Okay. Thank you, Liz. Liz has said, learn from the best. You helped me figure mine out. Awesome, Liz. Thank you for your feedback there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there because I need to go back to bed shortly. I've got one more Zoom call and then I'll go back to bed. After all these years, COVID finally got me, but I'm sure with the right rest and fluids and, there's lots of people giving me suggestions. Thank you very much for that. I'll be bouncing back on full form next week, but I will be live tomorrow. So I'll see you then. But if you want some help with branding, go to helenmartinonline.com/branding and let me help you. Okay? See you tomorrow. Bye.